Welcome to For Flow with Chloe. I'm recording this on the equinox, so the time between equal day and equal night, our autumn equinox. And it just so happens that on this day of the equinox, we also tip over from Virgo into Libra. So today I have got a yoga class for you that's all about balance, some arm balances, and just some nice mudra work at the end to connect us to harmony, because the Libra and the equinox are all about balance and harmony. First, I've got some tarot cards out for you that I pulled before the reading we can go through, and a couple of readings to do with the equinox and Libra season. But if you want to just skip on to the yoga, then I'm going to pop a timestamp in. So up to you how you want to view. Maybe you're just here for the tarot, maybe you're just here for the yoga, maybe you're here for it all. Lovely. So I've pulled some tarot cards as it's the equinox and we're changing sign, and we are in an in-between state currently. The first one I got was bog. And the key word is stagnation. So often we look at sort of moorlands and see them as these desolate places, and in the bogs we see them as these stagnant, rather unattractive, stinky pools of darkness, to put it nicely. However, these pools are really, really rich in nutrients and things that do get sucked down into these very peaty bogs. They become preserved. So they almost have this immortality to them. They are dark and mysterious and deep, and we can get trapped in them, but they create a sense of timelessness in that it can preserve us. And it's almost like a healing or womb-like state in the bog in actuality, or it can be. So we need to be maybe more considerate of how we look at this coming into the darker time of year, because as we're at the autumn equinox, we're going to lose a minute of daylight on average a day until we are at the winter solstice, where we have our darkest day. After bog, we got cave. It's rather beautiful. It's a sort of mystical bear and the squiggly, starlighty magicalness. And it says incubation. And I always think of the sort of turn as we come into winter as this incubation. I always say, it's time for me to become a bear and retreat into my cave. But caves are like portals. They're a dark space that we can retreat into, but they're also very much associated not just with sort of hibernation and retreat from society, but also rebirth, because we can walk out of that cave. We go into the darkness to retreat and to heal, but we can wake from the cave and step out back into the light and have this rebirth. So again, quite womb-like. And about, going within and embracing that deep, dark, wisdom womb of winter and not fearing it. Then we get Island, absolutely beautiful card with the whale on. Another deep, dark place, the ocean. But Island, our keywords are boundless and isolation. So they are limitless, essentially. And on islands, we often think of this isolated, cut off from the rest of society. And we've got 2 cards before it that are very much about retreating and embracing the quietness of the darkness and the magic that can come with that. On an island, we have, you know, a boundary all the way around. We have a threshold, I suppose, and it's shaped very much by the weather and the tides and the way that the weather has battered and shaped that threshold, that boundary. And we have the land meeting the sea. So we have this balance between the depths of the ocean and the sturdiness of the land, this sort of deep, mysterious unknownness of the ocean, this wildness of the ocean that's shaped the land, and then the land itself, which we are rooted to. But we can cross over between the two. And, you know, the weather can be absolutely fabulous on an island. It can be sunny and warm 1 minute, and then storms can come in the next hour and blow over. And it's a very changing environment. It's a dynamic balance of elements. And I feel on the equinox, and with us tipping over into Libra season, which is the sign of the scales of balance and of balancing that light and dark, that it's a very poignant card to be getting. It's about embracing the 2 different states and the balance and harmony of the land and the water, and embracing changes and balancing of environments. Then we get shape-shifting. This card is absolutely beautiful. This winged woman in this magical pool. So shape-shifting is, it's about our inner wildness that society has tamed out of us, I suppose, that raw, naturalistic oneness with the earth, the universe, and the creatures within it, recognizing ourselves as very much a part of the natural landscape we inhabit, and seeing ourselves as creatures of the earth, as creatures of nature, and not just this socialized humanity that we have become. And there is beauty and magic in understanding our wildness and not allowing ourselves to be too tamed, to embrace our rawness and our emotions, be they difficult or joyous, and balancing those things, realizing that we coexist with the earth, the seasons, the light, the dark, the animals, the inhabitants, other inhabitants of this earth. We share it with nature's creatures, and we are nature's creatures, and we need to not forget that. And that can help us understand this dynamism and the flow of the seasons, and accept this transitional state of coming out of summer and into winter, and that coming from the light into the darkness, and going back into our sort of womb-like state to embrace our wildness and be quiet within and listen to our raw animal state, I suppose. Then I pulled 3, so these cards were all from the Rooted Woman. And then I pulled 3 from the Lammas Oracle. I don't know if I'm saying that one right, because it's Irish, and none of the Irish words seem to actually be pronounced the way they look like they're written. But that season is all about harvest. So September, the end of the summer, is all sort of harvest season. So I pulled 3 from that deck, and then I pulled 3 from the next deck in that series, which is the Sharwin deck, which is that tip over into winter, where we start to embrace that darkness, because we're on a threshold. So I pulled 3 from the season we're in now, and 3 from the season we're coming into. So I first got bushes of apples. Bring it a little bit closer. Very cute. And yeah, apples are about, you know, the bountifulness of the season, of the harvest. And it says, invite your truth forward and invoke the power of healing, growth, and the true essence of who we are. And we were just talking about that with the shape-shifting card. But also, this card is about no 2 apples on the tree are the same. They're all unique, they're all different. Some are slightly more bitter, some are slightly sweeter, some are slightly redder, some are slightly greener. It's about, you know, we don't judge that, we just accept that. So we need to accept the uniqueness of ourselves and not be so self-critical, and embrace what kind of apple are we? What fruit do we hold and yield? Then there's craftsmanship, which is a very Virgo-y card, and we're coming out of Virgo season in September. Empower yourself with the knowledge, very Virgo-y is knowledge, that each challenge brings you closer to mastery. And the craftsman is Virgo. They are hard workers, and they strive to master their trade, their specialisms. And they work very hard behind the scenes, but their need in life is to reach mastery of their specialism. We then get grapevines. Very pretty. So I just wanted to say as well about the craftsmanship card. I have found this month really hard work. It's like, you know, back to the slog, like the summer's gone, or slowly you're chasing those last bits of summer, and, you know, reality of like work and school term times, and you know, preparing for winter, and I don't know, lots of bills and stuff seem to be coming out, and or like, you know, things like car insurance. It's been a month of that sort of thing, and I think September is very that sort of type of month, like getting all of your jobs ticked off and things, and I felt like I've been overwhelmed with jobs to tick off. Anyway, grapevines. Call on your desires, as this is the time to ask and receive. Lots of meditations actually that I've been doing around the equinox have been very themed on being receptive and asking and receiving. Libra, the sign that we're moving into, is very much about the self in relation to the other, and finding the balance between giving and receiving, the balance of this. It's opposite Aries on the zodiac wheel, and Libra is all about finding who they are through relationship with the other, whereas Aries is all about knowing the self and expressing the self and the individual. And so I feel this card is very much about not overgiving, and finding that balance, and being able to ask and give instead of overgive, in order to receive the feedback of that generosity and make yourself feel good about being generous to others, you need to also not come out of balance with that by also being able to ask for what you really want, for your own abundance, for what you deserve as well. So yeah, it's the time to ask and receive and to bring that into balance. Then I pulled 3 from the Charwain deck, which I think I am saying right. Previously I said Samain because that's how it's written, but I think it said Charwain or Sarwain. And so the first one I got was the underworld. Boom, boom, boom. Very scorpionic and very Halloween. So it says, hand over your known, a shift is near. Take the leap, your journey is clear. And we are, as I was saying, on these thresholds, this threshold of summer into winter. That's what autumn is. It's a threshold season. And the equinox is about that balancing point in between before we tip over into the other. And so this is preparing for knowing that we're going into the underworlds of winter. The veil, the sort of psychic veil, the veil of the other side, the unknown, the darkness. That is very much what Halloween and Samhain and winter is all about, embracing that mysticism that we're coming into, the darkness. But then we get naughty, naughty seduction. We have the dancing horned women doing their seductive, sexy dances in their transparentish nightgowns. Hear the roaring flames with the masterful trance that calls upon heaving chest. Give in to its alluring grip, if you please. But heed my warning of the claws that draw blood without mercy. So this is a warning about not being seduced by things that are other than your truth. It's not all just about sex, but it's always that sex is often used and represented, especially female sexuality, is often used to represent manipulation. And I'd say it's about not getting lost in the bad kind of dark, where we are being manipulated, and the kind of bad dark where we're pulling the wall over our eyes and blindfolding ourselves to our truth. We want to be embracing our truth, and we want to be exploring the darkness of ourself, our womb-like darkness of our true soul self, and going deep within to find that inner flame, that inner spark that is ours, not somebody else's. Finger wagging. And then we finally get owl, and this kind of summarizes what I was just saying about the right kind of darkness. Behold sight, O ancient ones, for there is magic in the darkest places if one dares to open their eyes. So don't blindfold yourself to the magic of the darkness. Don't be seduced and allowed to be blindfolded. Keep your eyes open in the dark of that cave and that bog, so that you can shapeshift and transform and, ask for what you want and receive it, and then step out of the cave and open your eyes after that winter time and step into spring and rebirth and the newness. And so don't get lost in the dark or seduced in the bad ways of the dark. Keep your eyes open to the truth and the true self within the dark. And ancient ones, our soul self is our self that's existed many times over, our reborn self that's been reborn again and again into different bodies, our true soul self, our true purpose, our true usness. So yeah, don't get seduced by who other people want you to be. Stay true to yourself. Going back to that shape-shifting card. Embrace your wildness. And that is the tarot aspect of the video. Let's just get these cards out of the way. So it was then going to read a little piece about Libra season. If you don't already have a Libra in your life, you might want to try and get one. Stylishly charming and easygoing. Spend even a short amount of time with this social air sign and you'll understand why everyone wants in on the action. Libra is happiest when the people around them are happy, which makes them the perfect host, agreeable companions, and pleasingly cooperative colleagues. Libra wants nothing more than to be liked by everyone who crosses their path, and therein lies a problem. This is what we were talking about in the tarot reading. Untangling their thoughts, feelings and opinions from those of the people they care about can be a lifelong challenge for this obliging sign. Diplomatic to the core, it takes a great deal of time, energy and gentle probing to persuade a Libra to choose a side, speak their mind, or find a bad word to say about anyone. Live life with Libra and you'll soon know that what sounds sweet and caring can easily tip into frustrating territory when they just won't tell you what they want. That's going back to many of the cards we just looked at. Libra might be a social chameleon, but they always stand out in a crowd. Aesthetics matter as much as relationships to idealistic Librans, which means their homes, Instagram feeds and party looks are all styled to perfection. Compliment them on the above and they'll love you forever. Harmony, balance and inner peace are all important to this sign, but that doesn't mean they don't have a wild side. Find the party and you'll find Libra holding the court, flirting with strangers, making everyone feel like they're the most important person they've ever been lucky enough to meet. So Libra is also ruled by Venus, so it is, Venus is the planet of love. So it's very much about love. So it's ruled by the heart chakra, which is why I am wearing green for the Anahata chakra, the heart chakra. Some from the Astro Moon Diary on the autumn equinox. Autumn equinox, the sun's entry into Libra opens the portal into nature's underworld. Lots of the tarot cards reflected that. The 6 months during which the hours of darkness overshadow those of light. Months within which the mysteries of death and rebirth are enacted. We have a little poem. Autumn equinox, the night and day are equal as nature is full grown, and while life falls to autumn, we bring the harvest home. Earth offers up abundance, nature's wholesome bounty. Sun is shifting in the balance of the airy sign of Libra. Go out and feel the evening breeze, turn your gaze out to the west. As summer's end is glorified, an immortal sunset. Make offerings to God and Goddess to share harvest with your friends, a festival of life and growth as summer comes to an end. Still, as the leaves release and fall, there is both decline and bounty. So, we are called to let things go, as is nature's generosity. And we are coming all the way down onto our backs to lie supine. And while we're here, we're going to kick a leg up and just rub the back of that hamstring. Give our ankle a nice rotation. Very ignored are the ankles. They carry our weight around all day. And we're going to do some balancing. We're going to kick that foot up and down as well to wakey the hamstring. So we want to really wake up the leg and the ankle, because Libra is all about balance. Equinox is all about balance between light and dark. So we're going to do, guess what? Some balancing. And we're just going to switch over, kicking that leg up and down on the other side. Rolly, rotatey. Spin that ankle round. And do some rubbing and kicking together to warm up that hamstring, waking up those legs. Now bend the knees and just hug onto them and just rock from side to side, really grounding the back of the hip bones into the mat, just sort of massaging out the back of those hips. Libra is the heart chakra, but the body parts that it rules are the kidneys and the lower back. So very nice area to stretch out. You know you've got an overworked Libra when they have got backache. So just loosening that area up. We're going to have lots of twists of that sort of lower spinal region because of the kidneys and the lower back being ruled by Libra. So I'd like you to put your arms out into a cactus position and leave your knees where they are, and just twist and allow the knees to fall to one side. And just breathe. And connect to your mat, getting that nice spinal twist. Doesn't matter if your knees don't come all the way down. You can stick a fist under them or a block under them if they don't come all the way down to the mat. Rotate them back up to the middle and let them flop over to the other side. Just waking up that back. Try and keep your shoulders both rooted onto the mat, if possible. Lovely. And bring the knees back to the middle. Now this time we're going to do some dynamic twisting. Leaving your arms in that cactus position. Try and bring your knees as high up on the chest as possible and float the knees and tap them, if you can, on each elbow. From side to side, really engaging that core, squeezing those knees together and rotating and squeezing, keeping the back ground down to the mat and the shoulders. Lovely. Getting some nice abdominal cleansing going on and some nice kidney cleansing going on and some nice lower back stretching going on. Just going to rest for a moment, give yourself a little hug, because Libra is all about being loving, and sometimes they can be overgiving to others and not too much to the self. Okay, open your arms back out into that cactus shape. And see, you can go back to those knee twists, but if you want a little bit more juice, you can maybe wrap the ankles together and then allow the legs to fall to the side and try and tap the knees to the elbows. The longer the lever, the heavier the weight seems. So really activate that core, because when we extend our legs straight, it feels like a lot more weight. Beautiful. And have a little rest, bring those legs back down. Could also just stay doing those knee twists if the long legs is a little bit much right now. Just take some breaths. And we're going to extend one leg out and kick one up to the sky. I want you to flatten both arms out, so palms to the floor. Now wrap 2 fingers around the big toe of the extended leg. Try and push the straightened leg, take it out slightly, so it's a little bit wider than just hip level. Then allow and guide the opposite arm, the opposite leg, sorry, over to the side. So sorry, you need to do this with the opposite fingers to the toe. And then let the leg cross over. And just hold that for a moment. It might be that your leg comes to here. Don't worry about where it comes to. Just let it fall to where it wants to. And hold it. Preferably it crosses over. And send it back up. Now we're going to grab it with the same arm. And bring the other arm down to the floor. And allow it to come all the way out to the side. Again, your leg might come up to here. Don't worry if it doesn't come down to the floor. Try and keep the shoulder and the opposite heel ground down to the floor. Just breathe into that stretch. Lovely. And bring it back and lower it. And I'm going to kick the leg up. Opposite hand to foot. And I'm going to wrap those peace fingers, or those scissor fingers, around the big toe. And allow that leg, again, to cross over the body. Should feel a nice stretch up that back of the buttock and side of the hip. Libra does also rule the buttocks. Some Libras out there with some great S's. And then allow the leg to come back up to the sky. Wrap the peace fingers around the foot on the same hand, same leg. And let it drop open. Grounding down through the opposite foot. Maybe a leg comes to here, maybe it comes all the way down. Make sure this arm is really gripping onto the floor and stretching out, keeping that shoulder down to the ground. And breathe. If this is a bit of a pinch for you, you can have a bend in the leg. It doesn't have to be a perfectly straight leg. Protect your hamstrings. If you need to bend the knee, please do so. Probably should have said that sooner. Sorry. Then bring the legs back to centre. So we're going to straighten the legs out, all the way out. And put your hands behind your head. We're not crunching the neck though and like bringing the elbows in. We're just lifting up the torso, keeping that neck relaxed. We're engaging the core here, not tensing the neck. Then we're going to lift the leg up. Point it to the sky. You can point the toes, or you can kick the foot up like this. And we're just going to switch and switch and switch. And it can be pointy toes, flointy toes, or flat-footed. Lovely. Should really feel that core switching on. Have a little rest. Now we're going to take the hands and clasp them together and lift both legs up and lift the torso up. And we're going to reach the hands to the opposite side of the legs and twist. Should really feel that in the torso. in the abdominals. Breathing. So as I crunch, I'm exhaling. As I switch sides with my arms, I'm inhaling. Fabulous. And now kick with it. So switching legs and doing the same thing. These legs are hovering, they're not touching all the way down. You should feel some core burn, igniting. Woo! And then just lie out flat. Stretch that stomach out. And breathe. Beautiful. Now, we're going to roll onto your side and prop yourself up on your elbow. Like, hey guys. Hi. We're going to put those feet together and open out the knees and close them like a clamshell opening. Wah, wah, blowing bubbles out the clamshell. You don't have to imagine that, that's just what I like to do. And just opening and closing the clamshell. Connecting to the breath as we do so. Exhaling closed and inhaling legs open. And when you're ready, we're going to put those peace fingers around that leg again, around those toes again. And just pull back on the hamstring again. Your leg doesn't have to be perfectly straight, you can have a soft bend to protect those hamstrings. Lovely. And lower. Keeping this knee bent, you're going to slide up onto it and rotate the foot behind like a kickstand. This leg stays extended. Catching our weight on this hand here. And we're just going to stretch and find a nice long line through the body. And then going to rotate round, bringing that arm round. Notice my foot has come up onto the heel, pointing to the sky. That's optional, you can stay flat-footed here. I like to get a deeper stretch through the inner thigh here. And take the arm up overhead as the opposite arm comes down behind the leg to support the weight. And I'm going to swoop down and back up. Down and back up. Windmilling our weight from hand to hand, getting that nice stretch through the lateral side body, as well as the inner thigh and hamstring. Fabulous. And on this sweep down, we're going to rotate the hips round to the other side of the mat into our half Hanumanasana. And we're going to lunge forward, bending and stacking the knee, and pull it back straight. Lunge forward, bend the knee, pull it back straight. Do 4 more. Exhale as you straighten. Inhale as you lunge. Exhale as you straighten. Inhale as you lunge. And I'd say that's 4. And as you come into your lunge again, we're going to ground through the opposite palm and twist open the other arm to the sky. Hold it here, lower the arm, straighten the leg, point the toes up to the sky, and we're going to twist open here. So rotating the torso towards the thigh, the inner thigh. And lower it down. I'm going to slide those legs under and come into that clam on the other side. I'm going to open and close the clam. Inhaling legs open, exhaling them shut. Lovely. Kick the leg up. Hawk those fingers around. Remember the soft bend if you need, and lever that leg back towards you. Beautiful. Give it a hold there. Take a few breaths. Lower it down and kickstand up onto that knee, supporting the weight with the hand. Leg is long, and find that stretch through the side body again. Connecting to the breath, sweep the arm round as the foot rotates up onto the heel, and find that opposite side bend with the straightened leg. Sweep down and round, back with the weight onto the arm, opposite side stretch. Sweep down, stretching the other side, sweep down and round. Connecting to the breath. Exhale as you come down. Inhale as you stretch. Beautiful. And we're going to rotate the hips all the way around, keeping that leg extended out in our half Hanuman. Exhale here. Slide the foot back into a bend as you sink into your lunge, stacking that knee over the ankle, inhaling, sorry. And exhale into your half Hanuman. Inhale into your lunge. Do about 6. I think that's about 6. End in your lunge. Inhale and rotate the torso open. Reach for the sky. Looking up at that palm. Beautiful. Bring the hand down. Straighten the leg out back into your half Hanuman. And twist back open. If you feel a nice stretch down the whole back of the outer edge of that leg. Beautiful. Windmill the arm down and round. We're going to walk our way round to the other edge of the mat. And we're going to grip into the mat, coming onto all fours. Give the mat a squeeze, 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 squeeze. To activate those fingers, we're going to have a lot on the wristicles today. So I'm going to grip into that mat. I'm going to rotate the shoulders over, down and round. And over, down and round the other way. Circling the body, squeezing and gripping those fingers into the mat, finding that Hasta Bandha. Connect to the breath. Beautiful. Grip the mat again and come to a still tabletop. Inhale and arch the spine, looking up slightly in your cat pose, waking that spine up and that lower back. Roll through the shoulders and push the ground away into your cat. Sorry, the other one was cow. Inhale into your cow, exhale into your cat. Moo! Wow, that's how we get it right. I saw people on the violin doing this while they were mooing. And push into your cat. So sound effects optional. Just following at your own pace. You might want to put some neck rolls and head rolls in with your spinal movement here. Play around, get comfy, loosen everything up. Beautiful. Now we're going to extend the leg out behind us. I'm extending out my right leg. I'm going to exhale and bring it up and in, as high up the arm as I can on the outside of the arm. Kick it back. Kick it into the forehead, crunching, exhaling. Inhale it back out. Exhale and cross it over, touching the opposite elbow. Inhale it back out. I'm going to out, kick, forehead, kick, cross it over, kick, and again. Lovely, and wiggle it out a bit. Come back, maybe have a little wrist roll. So just rotate the wrist, maybe make some fists and roll your wrist out. Maybe sit on your toes while you do this and stretch those little piggies out. Feel a nice stretch through the insteps as well while you do this, bending those toes back and sitting on them. Give the feet some love. And we'll go back into it. And we're going to grip the mat with our fingers. I'm going to do the other side. So exhale that knee up, high up at the outer arm as you can. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, knee to head. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, cross it over to the opposite elbow. And flow with me. Exhale. Inhale. Go at your own pace. Making sure you're connecting to that breath. And lower it down. And I'm going to come back again. Option to sit on the toes or just bending the knees into a seat, or another comfortable seated position of your choice can be cross-legged if you would prefer. I'm just going to flick, 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 flick the fingers. Going to be an invitation of an arm balance later. So I want these forearms and these wrists and fingers nice and warm, nice and heated. Whether we take the arm balance or not, we are going to be spending some time in some one-armed positions, so you might want to just warm them up to the best of your ability anyway. Always good to have strong wrists and strong fingers for gripping. Strong claws. And when you start to feel the fire in the fingers, like, oh my God, I can't take it anymore, then we're just going to rest them. You should feel some tingling, maybe in the forearms, tingling in the fingers, maybe some heat, maybe they feel hot. Just give them a little rest. It's exactly how they should feel, building the fire in the fingers. Finger fire. I'm going to come off my toes now and give them a rest. They've had a good stretch. Maybe draw them out if you've been sitting on them for a while. We're going to extend our arms right out and just let our wrists go right backwards, like so. I'm going to roll the arms in, make big fists, and curl, really curl the wrists the opposite way, pointing those fists down towards the biceps. Think strong, strong thoughts. And go straight and release the fingers. Bend those wrists right back. And again, curling it in. Strong biceps. And release, flick and open the hands. Fire out some magic from your palms. And curl it in. Manifest the magic. Manifest the magic into the big biceps. Exhale and fire out the magic. Bend those wrists right back. Pull it in, receiving the magic. Receiving, receiving. Exhale and let the magic out into the world. And curl it back in, last time. Release the magic from the fingers. Lovely. And shake your arms. Woo! Lovely. Now we're going to just come onto our forearms, stick your bum in the air, and scrape the heart, scoop the heart along the floor and come into your cobra. Soft bend in the arms here and pull back. I'm going to do that again, just opening that heart chakra up a bit. After all that strong arming. Lovely, and now we're going to push, roll the toes over, push the hips up to the sky into your first Adho Mukha Savasana, downward dog. Give those legs a little pedal. Lovely. And we're going to kick the left leg up to the sky. And if you can, step it through, kind of grab the ankle to help. Send it through, come all the way up. Lift the arms up on the back, on the toes on the back leg, nicely stacked knee in your high lunge. Lovely. Send those arms behind you, make a fist behind the back, and stretch that chest forward, opening that heart a little again. Doing a lot on our shoulders in a hunchy position, so just straighten that out a bit. Now bring the hands to heart center. I'm going to sink into that front leg a little and twist and try and latch the elbow onto the knee. If you can, open the arms, twisting to the side, bring it back into prayer and rotate back round. Step it forward into your chair, keeping those hands in prayer. Inhale and twist. Exhale, latch that knee on and twist deeper. Strong in those legs in that chair. Beautiful. We're just going to stretch out, coming into a halfway lift, stretching out the backs of those legs. Nice flat back here. And exhale, fold forward. In your deep forward fold. Coming up to your mountain, strong in those legs, grounded in those feet, comfortable distance apart. Arms go overhead. Option for a mini back bend here. And come back to neutral. We're going to go back down into that deep forward fold. Plant the palms, step 1, 2 feet back into your plank. Bend the elbows, grab the wrists, the ribs, and chaturanga down. Push up into either your cobra or your upward facing dog. Pushing back, gripping through those palms. Send the right leg up, kick it up to the sky. Travel that foot forward, come up on the back toes, stacking that knee of the ankle, back into your high lunge. Fantastico. And send the arms behind into your reverse fisting. Shining that heart chakra forward. Can also be opposite elbows if that stretches a little deep for you. Beautiful. Bring your hands to heart center, sink forward a bit and latch that elbow on, twisting. Breathing, maybe you open the arms out. Bring them back together. Step it forward, find your chair. Squeeze those thighs together. And twist back round. In your twisted chair. Maybe open the arms out here also. And rotate it back round. Coming up. a mini back bend. Back to neutral. Diving down into that fold. Stepping it back into your plank. And we're going to chaturanga down again. If you don't want to do chaturanga, you can do your knee, chin, chest here instead. And do your Ashtanga Namaskara. Otherwise, chaturanga down. Grip through those fingers in your Hasta Bandha. Beautiful. Roll back into your Adho Mukha Savasana. And we're going to kick the left leg up to the sky. We're going to send it to touch one elbow, crunching the next elbow, twisting across. Kick it back up. Now we're going to step it all the way through and land that leg across the body. And we're going to open out into our fallen triangle. Try pushing the feet down here and reaching the hand back further, or you can be on the side blade of the foot and the arm straight up. Windmill it back down, send it back to your down facing dog. Have a little rest here, not that it ever really is in a down dog. Kick the other leg up to the sky. Bring it forward, tap the elbow, kick it back. Bring it forward, tap the other elbow, kick it back. Bring it all the way across the body onto that knife blade edge of the foot. Open, twisting out. Option to plant the feet and open wider in your fallen triangle. Windmill the arm back down. Kick it back up in your down dog. Fabulous. Come down onto your knees and melt the heart down. Open those knees out wide into your child's pose. Have a little rest. Boom. Strong. Are we hot yet? I'm hot. I'm going to slide back up. I'm going to twist to the side. Look over the shoulder. Twist to the side. Look over the shoulder. Twist the other side. Look over the shoulder. And twist the other side. Look over the shoulder. Bring those knees together. Bring the hands to the heart center. Take a few breaths. Have a little drink of water. Stay hydrated, guys. But otherwise, we're going to come back down into your child's pose. Push through the palms. Roll those toes over and push back up into your downward facing dog. Option to tiptoe or hop your way to the front of the mat. Find that halfway lift and exhale into your deep forward fold. Taking the legs out a little wider. Maybe some bouncing, coming up onto the toes, bouncing the hips down. You might want to come up onto your fingertips to make this more accessible. And if you have crow in your practice, I do have a separate crow video, which I will link in the description. Come up onto those toes and shove those knees right into those armpits, or as far up as you can on your arms. Grip the mat with those fingers, shift forward, lift the feet, coming into your crow. You can lower down here 1 foot at a time, or jump back, bend the elbows, lower down into chaturanga. Come up, up dog. Beautiful. Roll back up into your down dog. And you can tiptoe again or hop to the front of the mat. Find that halfway lift again. And deep forward fold. Coming all the way up. Beautiful. Catch your breath in your mountain. Nice and strong. Shoulders down. Standing straight. standing strong. Open it out with legs wide, both toes facing the long edge of the mat. Open the arms out, point the toes out towards the short end of the mat. Shift back, reaching behind you. Shift the other way and tilt. You can come down into your triangle. Can be higher or lower, resting on the inner thigh or shin or touching the floor. Option to look up at your hand in your triangle. Triangle is a beautiful, harmonious shape. Windmill that arm down, come up onto the toes of the back foot, plant the palm or upon the fingertips and rotate, twist into your revolved triangle. Beautiful. Lower that arm, that hand down, slide your foot back a little, keeping a bend in the knee, and we're going to lift the leg, back leg up. If you have your warrior three, we're going to balance that warrior three, strong in the leg, extend the leg out behind you powerfully, focus your gaze in your drishti, hands to heart center or out flying. Libra is an air sign, so we're flying. Bring the hands down, push into one set of fingertips. You can also have a block here. Don't have one hand. And rotate open, kicking that leg out powerfully behind into your half moon. Close the hands down again. Embrace any wobbles here. Challenge here, optional. Rotate and twist into revolved half moon. Fabulous if you're still with me. And lower that foot back down. Windmill the arm up until you are facing this way again. Long edge of the mat. Toes all pointing to long edge. And take a breath and rotate the other side of tootsies out. Reach behind you, reach the other side and tilt into your triangle. Making sure that your chest is nicely peeled open, opening that heart and not reaching or slumping. Beautiful. And we're going to rotate that arm down, come up onto the toes, and we're going to revolve. Twisty McTwisticles again. And bring the hand down to the mat. Slide the foot back, bending the knee slightly. And we're going to play with lifting that foot back up, finding that warrior three on the other side. Steady through the leg, steady through the ankle, kicking the leg back powerfully. Breathing. Maybe we're flying. And maybe bring the leg back down for a moment to touch some ground. And we're going to put ourselves rotating back into our half moon. Opening that hip out. Kicking that back leg back. Focusing our gaze. Embracing any wobbles. Maybe you would like to try and rotate, so sending the hips back down to face the mat. And rotating and kicking powerfully behind still as you twist. Oh, it's strong through the hips. And we drop the back leg and windmill ourselves back up. Maybe have a few little circles here. Oh, juicy hip stretches. Beautiful. Take the hands behind, puff the chest, and fold into your deep forward fold. Wide-legged one this time. Give the shoulders a nice stretch. Beautiful. And we're going to come all the way back up and shimmy, shimmy, heel toe, those toes and feet back together into our mountain. Time for some more balancing, guys. Feel free to move yourself over to the wall or a door or the back, hold on to the back of a sturdy chair to help you out with this one. If you're finding yourself a little bit wobbly woo, Gonna lift up the left leg, grab the foot and kick that foot into the hands. Fabulous, nice stretch through the hammy there again. Wrap your fingers around your toes, maybe one hand on the hip or to the wall, and then lift that leg up and open. Beautiful. And bring it back round, challenge. Grab it with the other hand. You can put your leg down in between these to change. And we're going to send it the other way across the body. Woohoo! And lower it down. Fantastic. Give your ankles a roll out. Maybe have some little foot stretches. Shake it out, shake it out. Whew. And we're going to do the other side. Kicking that leg, knee up, kicking into the foot. Breathing. Focusing on one unmoving point on the floor or the wall. Softening the gaze, whichever works for you to help you balance. Maybe you're at the wall. Beautiful. Sending that leg out as we do on the other side. And floating it back along. Switching the hands over. Option to put the leg down in between these interchanges. And float that leg the other way across the body. Beautiful. And pop it down. And have a shimmy. Wiggly, wiggly, wiggly. Woo. And get your breath. And we're going to bend the knees, squeeze the knees together, and sit into our imaginary chair again. And we're going to take our hands to heart center, and we're going to twist to the side. And now, funky transition here. Put your hands on the floor and leave your knees pressing into the backs of the arm. Grip, grip, grip with those fingers like you do in crow. Shift the weight forward and come magically into your side crow. See if you can straighten the legs into this beautiful flying one. Woo! Fantastico! Maybe some of you just flew a Kundalini. Stay in your little crouch position. That was a little bit of a testing transition. If you couldn't get it that side, maybe you can get it this side. We're just going to switch our knees over to the other side of our arm, staying in this little crouched position up on our tiptoes, trying to get our knee as close to the back of our shoulder and high up on that tricep. Really gripping with those fingers. Strong forearms, and push into that one arm, shifting the weight forward, and then maybe we're straightening the legs out in our Kundalini. Close it down, drop back down, and come to sit cross-legged. Keep having a go at flying those crows. We've done loads of lovely twisty warm-ups to try and get those knees as far up the triceps as possible, really fired up our fingers. But if you didn't fly it today, just keep coming back to those wrist exercises, those crossing the knee over the body, elbow touches, knee to elbow touches, and lots of twisting. And eventually you should fly your crow. Just remember, don't fear. If you're afraid, put a pillow there. You're only going to have a soft landing then if you fall forward. But you do have to shift forward an enormous amount. And again, you can go and watch my crow video that I recorded earlier in the year. I'll drop that in the description. And the warm-up for any arm balances is the same for that. But then you will just need to put your twists in because you have to get yourself into these revolved torso positions to do a side crow. That's the only difference. Lovely. Now we're going to come into a bit of a cool down. So we're going to take our wrists and just go whoop and flop our wrist, like kiss my hand, kiss my ring, because I'm the royal one, and then just pull back on your fingers, sending your wrist right back, stretching that wrist the other way, because we've been a lot of on the wrists today. Maybe give your hand a little rub between the fingers. Do some fisty wristy rolls. Beautiful. Kiss the hand, kiss my hand, and pull it back. Stretching through that wrist, sending it the other way. Flicky, flicky, roly, roly, disco roll. Beautiful. And we'll do some neck love. So just grab one side of your head and your shoulder, and we'll just stretch out that neck. Look up, look down, look up, look down. Sometimes when we're in a lot of these hunchy positions, we can get a lot of neck tension when we're doing a lot of lying down, core work with our head lifted. So just going to do some nice stretching of the neck in case we build up any tension there. And because we do a lot of pushing the ground away motions in those arm balances, we're going to take the arms behind the back. You can grab opposite elbows, or you can come into, I'll swivel around, your reverse prayer, because we came into lots of forward prayer. So we're going to just reverse our prayer. You don't have to spin around to not face me, I'm just showing you this from behind. So you can grab opposite elbows, and if you can grab opposite elbows, you can usually separate the hands and then squeeze them back together. Lovely. I'm going to swivel back round. Cross your legs the other way so that we're even in our cross-leggedness. Swing those arms behind you into a behind the back fist grip thingy that we've been doing a few times. And I'm just going to roll forward in these sort of Sufi rolls. We've been doing a lot of sending the hips across. Just going to open them out a little while we open the heart a little, because we've been doing a lot of shoulder stuff. Lovely. And opening that heart up, because it's all about the heart chakra with Libra. Take some breaths. I'm going to swim those hands behind us and come to the side so you can see, and push up. So plant the palms behind you, then just push up with the chest. So fire the heart chakra out. So just making sure those shoulders rotate the other way from the pushy, the ground away motion. Lovely. Now we're going to do some nice mudra play, because as I said, Libra is all about harmony. So we're going to take our fingers and our thumbs together like so. We're just going to balance ourselves in a harmonic way. So take one hand to sit on the belly, like so, and one hand in your Gaya Mudra above it, so that the circles of the finger are facing one another. Just take some breaths. And take the hands out to the side. Almost like bicep curl, but really, really gentle. And then turn them out to the other side. And bring one up overhead and one down below. Let the fingers of the below one touch the floor, and the fingers of the above one stretch high. Take some breaths, maybe soften the gaze, and just imagine that you're holding a thread between the two fingers. a silver thread, a golden thread. The thread colour is your choice. But imagine a beam of light like a thread between the two fingers, connecting our inner self with our outer self, connecting to our true core self, not just the person we show to the world. Balancing the inner world and the outer world, the inner self and the outer self, the face we wear for society compared to who we are truly on the inside. Now bring the hands together, allow the hands to cross, and we're going to hold those hands the opposite way to they were before with our Gaia mudra. I think I was that way around. So if you had your left hand on the bottom last time, switch it to the top. And just sit and breathe. And I'm going to take our mudra out to the side. Ding. And roll it in. Ding. I'm going to lift the opposite hand overhead and the opposite hand down to the floor. Imagining that thread between the two fingers again. Our little beam of light balancing this time our relationship with ourselves to our relationship with others, maybe our partner, our children, our parents, our colleagues, those we walk past in the street, our neighbours. All of those we come into contact with. Harmonising those relationships, seeing ourselves in them and them in ourselves. We are all connected. We bring harmony to all these relationships. And bring the hands down, cross them over. Figure out which way you were the other time, which hand above and which hand below. And I'm going to take that mudra out and up. Ding. Don't know why I keep saying ding. And turn it out. Ding. And this time turn it back out again. And bring both hands up overhead. Let all of the fingers meet in this triangulation shape, a little pyramid of harmony. Relax the shoulders. Deep breaths. We now connect and harmonise ourselves with on the earth, with the planet, with the universe, and ourselves, to all things, all beings, society, the seas, the unexplored creatures, the rainforests, the weather, the light, the dark, the seasons, the self, the spirit, the oneness. We bring harmony to all things. And interlock your fingers and bring them down to the lap. Thumbs touching. We give and we receive equally. We give and we receive harmoniously. And I hope you have a wonderful equinox I've got a couple more little stretches for if you're still feeling a little bit sore. So if you're leaving me here, namaste. Thank you for joining me in this Equinox Libran class. And if you want to join me coming down onto your front on the mat, we're just going to do a little bit more grounding in and heart chakra work and come into our Shavasana, our final resting pose. Bring your forehead to the mat, or you can stack your fists and bring your forehead to your fists. Laying on your front. Swim the arms behind and make that fist behind your back. And we're just going to lift the chest up and roll it down. Inhale it up and roll it down. Put the hands on the mat in this cactus arm. Lift the legs up and down. Maybe you can try and lift both legs. Keeping that forehead on the mat or maybe on your fists. Lovely. Swim those hands back behind again. And we're going to come into our locust. You may want to put a towel beneath the hips if you have rather bony hips, because we're going to inhale the chest, the heart and the legs up, extending them powerfully out behind, coming into a dish shape on our pelvis. Keep breathing, stretching those toes, maybe point the toes, point them back powerfully, and exhale it down. Beautiful. Roll onto your back. Bend the knees. Walk the feet close towards the glutes. Bring the hands clasped behind the back again, or you can push them into the mat. I'm going to push up from here. Push the hips right up. Inhale into your bridge pose. Squeezing those glutes, engaging the backs of those thighs. And lower down. Let the legs go long. Open the palms to the sky. Take some deep breaths and relax to the mat. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the ankles, letting the feet splay wide. Maybe you want to let the feet connect and the knees drop down in your butterfly. And maybe you want your legs outstretched. Find where you're comfortable. And connect to the breath. Maybe you want to bring one hand to the heart center and one to the sacral chakra, the lower stomach area. And just breathe. I'd like to thank you for practicing with me today. I'll leave you here now. Maybe you would like to ponder on bringing balance and harmony into your life. Maybe you'd just like a little rest.